This video is all about something that at time of recording is still a relatively new way of doing things: AI collaboration. I'm making this on the 9th of May 2026. Random fact, it would have been my granddad's 104th birthday today. Happy birthday, Granddad. But this video isn't about my granddad, and the month isn't even relevant. The year is though. That's because I view the way we perceive AI collaboration in 2026 as a fleeting period that will come to look quite outdated in just a few short years. The truth is that today AI collaboration still feels unusual, is widely debated, and is even seen by some as being quite controversial. But I have no doubt that regardless of how odd it might seem today, AI collaboration will come to be completely standard practice by the early 2030s. So in some ways, I'm publishing this video as a timestamp, a note carved into the binary code of the internet to mark how we thought about AI collaboration before our collective perception changed. This channel is, after all, about the future, and so why not take a snapshot now to show future viewers how tech can so quickly and easily rewrite what we consider to be normal. But more than that, this is an exploration of what is arguably the beginnings of the biggest change to how things are done that we've ever seen, that we may ever see. And as you'll discover, I also think the pushback surrounding AI collaboration isn't really about the tool itself. Instead, it's a natural and very human reaction to a sudden change in established processes, one that most of us realise will completely shift the paradigm. So people understandably have feelings of concern, natural disorientation, and healthy uncertainty about what the future holds. That's because AI collaboration is changing our approach to thinking and altering our creative processes. But importantly, it's also shedding light on how the majority of ideas and output has long been formed and refined through collaboration and access to powerful resources. Anyway, enough of the intro, let's dive in. I've heard people talking as though thinking before AI entered the scene was something done by individuals. One person, their ideas formed in a bubble and a finished piece of work at the end. But that's seldom how thinking has ever worked. Most ideas, especially the best ones, have resulted from varying degrees of collaboration. That's because ideas are almost always formed alongside conversations or informed by books, lectures, and secondary sources. Basically, new thoughts are shaped through exposure to other minds. For example, thought leaders might have discussed ideas with experts and refined them through dialogue and then scaled them through networks. Authors have usually built characters, constructed storylines, and embedded narrative arcs by bouncing ideas off of friends, publishers, and editors. Most artists don't work in a vacuum. They share their creative journey with others, allow critiques of their process, and respond to input by fine-tuning what they do. And despite all of that, we still consider the final ideas these people land on to be theirs. And I feel I have to point out something that can be quite unfair to anyone not already inside established networks of collaboration and resources. Something that AI almost overnight turned the tables on. Previously, access to this kind of intellectual collaboration has never been evenly distributed. It's often depended on education, money, or proximity to other knowledgeable people. These were vital resources that helped to strengthen an individual's potential. Even something as simple as books haven't always been readily available. They were once a privilege. Private libraries and academic institutions long acted as gatekeepers to knowledge and perspective. Quite rightly, the internet is often seen as a liberating force, leveling the playing field by widening access to information. And AI takes this several steps further, but instead of just opening up the floodgates of information, as the internet did, AI has widened access to expertise itself. And that certainly won't be seen as an incidental side story of what artificial intelligence has brought us, because it's a groundbreaking, mold-shattering cornerstone of the new world we've just stepped into. And it's very difficult to argue that that won't change absolutely everything. Okay, so let's get into specifics. Let's talk about what proper AI collaboration actually looks like, or at least this is how I believe proper AI use should work. quick caveat, because I'm a lecturer and I teach students, what I'm about to say is about using AI in your personal life or using AI in work. This is not about using AI in education, because there are strict rules with regards to all that. Anyway, teach a bit over. So when you use AI, my advice is don't ask it to come up with ideas for you. What's the point? Because to do so is like using AI as a cognitive vending machine, and not a good vending machine stuffed with really tasty treats. Instead, it'll only ever supply you with quite bland, generic outputs. I think that to use AI properly means to bring ideas to it and then use it to explore them further. When you do that, it's not replacing your thinking, quite the opposite. It's actually extending it. Because AI at its heart is an inert resource of expertise, something that only becomes active and useful to me when prompted with my own direction and intent. Approaching AI this way ensures that the quality of what comes back is always, without exception, shaped by the quality of what I put in. What that guarantees in simple terms is that the thinking always starts with me. I form concepts, ideas, analogies, links between disciplines and solutions alone in my head before I go anywhere near AI. Then I share my ideas with AI to amplify them, stress test them, and refine them. Structurally, this is no different from discussing ideas with other people. In fact, it's very similar to bouncing ideas off of an informed network of individuals, except it has some very clear strengths that even human networks can't challenge. It's faster, it's broader, and perhaps the thing I love most about it, it's available 24/7. And yes, it gives you an advantage. Good. That's what technology should do. But it's the same kind of advantage that people have always had when they've had access to knowledge, networks, or intellectual environments. Only it's open to everyone with a device and an internet connection. That, in a nutshell, is the future of thinking. In fact, it's already the present. It's just that a lot of people don't realize that they can use AI to massively expand their thinking in this way, while others are very keen to resist what's happening. It's clear to see that for many, AI collaboration still feels like a grey area. That's understandable, it's a new way of doing things. But I also think it's because AI use is causing us to see the process of collaborative thinking more clearly than ever before. When ideas are shaped through conversations with people, we're much less likely to question authorship. But when that same shaping happens through conversations with machines, people can see the collaboration taking place in a much more direct way. It's much more overt and in your face than discussions in meetings, emails to informed individuals, or chats with colleagues over coffee. The structure hasn't changed, but the collaborators have. They're no longer human and no longer spread out between many different people. We can now focus our collaborative efforts into a single point of light with our own thoughts, one AI, and the breadth of human knowledge. And because we know that collaborator is an immensely powerful digital mind, people assume it's the digital mind that can only ever do all the thinking. But that's only the case with what I would describe as poor AI use, and the results are almost always evident in the outcomes. Now, clearly there's also a cultural lag. Artificial intelligence is moving forward much faster than our collective consciousness can deal with. So we currently find ourselves in a situation where people, vast amounts of people, are using AI daily to provide collaborative assistance in thinking, creating and working, but we haven't collectively agreed on how to interpret and view that yet as a society. My firm prediction is that any tensions we're currently experiencing won't last long. I'm old enough to remember a time when internet searches were seen as unusual, inappropriate, and a lesser method of acquiring information. And I think that over time, AI collaboration will become as normal as looking something up on the internet. So much so, we won't even question it. In the same way that we don't question someone using a car to get to work or sending an email instead of sending a letter. Yes, this is a much bigger shift in how things are done, but social media, digital finance, and Amazon are also completely different ways to do things than what had come before. But they and many more technologies are now so deeply embedded in the systems we use every day, we barely even think about them. In summary, this video is really about the changing landscape of ideas, through to results. Personally, I don't see AI as taking ownership of ideas, certainly not when it's used by intelligent people in intelligent ways. In my life, AI helps me to develop ideas that originated in my own mind. Ideas that begin with my perspective, my interests, my intent, and my unique way of seeing the world. By the early 2030s, not using AI for thinking heavy work will be seen as inefficient. It will be inefficient because everyone else will be doing it. In the same way that not using the internet today would be inefficient, completely avoiding AI collaboration in the years to come will be seen as restrictive, slow, and detrimental to the things we want to achieve. So as I wrap up this video, I want to put it out there that our current societal perspective on AI use is temporary. It's just a brief period where something we'll come to see as being completely normal is still being seen as unusual. Like the machines of the Industrial Revolution, cars, nuclear energy, computers, mobile phones, the list is endless. And that's why I wanted to record this now, because when someone stumbles across this video in a few years, the choice over AI use, AI collaboration in work at the very least, will not be seen as unusual. It won't even be a conversation anymore. But having said all that, it's also important that we approach this transition with care. When it comes to thinking, AI should always be used as a collaborator, in my opinion, and not a replacement for our own cognition. Allowing AI to think for us all the time will damage our minds, and it will baby us in ways that will only ever hold us back as individuals and a society. Therefore, we should use it as a tool to accelerate our own ideas, not as a vending machine to spit out ideas on our behalf. So tell me, what's your view on AI collaboration? Do you think it's taking away true authorship and control from people, or do you see it as a really powerful tool that amplifies our thinking? Let me know in the comments below. And if you're interested in exploring our relationship with technology, why not subscribe to the Layered Future channel? Every video I make drills down into how tech is forcing us to change and evolve. Hit subscribe so you don't miss a thing. As always, thanks so much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you again in the future.